Did you ever pull one of those in high school, like with a teacher or anything?
Nah, I wasn't clever enough,
There was a
or
guy.
I wasn't brave enough.
There was a guy in my Spanish class freshman year. His kid was like James Smith. He's like the whitest dude ever. And one time he messed with the teacher on his one of his tests. Mr. Atwood was passing out tests. He's like, Kyle Hansen is like here, Cindy Lou here, and he's like Mike Oxlong, Mike Oxlong, and then James just started. This kid just starts busting up, and then he just goes, "See me after class." It's so good. It's perfect.
Brutal. Yeah. I do like doing pranks, but I've told you about some of my high school pranks, and
Yeah.
they were much more
They're much
horrible.
way more sinister.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You were next level. You were a next level prankster. I never got that far.
Did I tell you? I might have told you. Did I tell you what I would do with boba?
Would you like spit it at people's like put it on their backpacks?
Yeah.
You just stick it to them.
I would take the boba balls and dry them off a little bit, and
Yeah.
then just like launch them, and
Yeah.
they're so tacky. They just
Right.
like stick to people's backpacks.
Yeah. That was always fun. I mean, they shoot so
Wait,
well
you did
out
that
of those
too?
straws. Not at people. Well, actually, I would shoot at like my friends and stuff sometimes, but never at just doing it at just random strangers behind their back is so funny. Because you just get like a boba drive by, just some guy just slathered, his backpack's just slathered with boba.
There's something extra funny to me, like extra enticing when it comes to like pranking, when it offsets because like part of the enjoyment of pranking is like seeing the reaction.
Yeah, of course.
But for me, it's also like almost equally enjoyable to imagine the reaction.
Yeah, right.
Because I'm just leaving like a little boba time bomb.
Yeah, yeah.
It could be like it'll stick, and just depending on where it sticks, it could be like a couple weeks, and it will shrivel down to like a little raisin or something.
Right.
And eventually they'll find it.
Eventually they'll find it.
I like knowing that they'll be confused.
Sometimes it's more fun in your imagination, just leaving it to be like leaving some mystery to it.
Exactly.
Like knowing it's gonna happen, but just being able to think about, that'll confuse him for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty. It's funny and it's like it's fairly innocuous,
What other pranks have I done? Oh, so in 7th or 8th grade, I went on a school trip to Disneyland.
Yeah.
And I stopped the Pirates of the Caribbean ride.
You stopped it? How'd you do that?
You're floating along, and then sometimes you go like down a thing or up a thing, whatever.
Yeah.
I was floating along, and I was like, I'm gonna reach out and just grab the wall.
Yeah.
And I was able to just grab the wall and stop the boat.
Oh shoot!
And
wait, you were a kid?
Yeah.
Oh my god! How are you able to do that?
It was because it's just flowing along with the current.
I guess, yeah.
There's no like system propelling
pushing
it other than the flow of water, and the the water was like pretty chill right there.
Got it.
And so I was just like, boop, and then I was like, this is kind of funny. And then there was like 5 boats all like back to back behind mine, and I was like, okay, I probably have taken this far enough.
How long did you hold it for?
It had to have been a minute. Maybe 30 seconds.
Oh my god, no one was looking around like
I think
the hell?
I think after
we just stopped for 30. It's a long ass time.
Some people behind were like kind of like looking a little confused. So I let go, and then you get into the station where they're loading and unloading, and it's completely empty. And then here comes like 5 or 6
back-to-back
boats back to back. Yeah, exactly.
You just made a conga train.
Yeah. And
that's awesome.
Just skedaddled. I mean, it didn't seem like it was really harming anybody.
Right, yeah.
It probably just kind of threw off the timing of the ride a little bit because Usually you have I'm guessing you have a fairly steady flow in and out.
Of course, yeah.
And then they have like all of a sudden congestion.
Yeah, you just brought LA traffic to the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, exactly.
Just a little taste of the locale flavor.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. That's awesome. Yeah, man, I can't remember too many pranks I did. I think I've already talked about them on previous episodes. But yeah, what's new, man? What's cracking? Are you coming to Tahoe?
No.
No?
No.
No! I was afraid you would say that.
I have to break the news to Mike.
Oh, man, Mike's going to be so disheartened.
I know.
I'm going to be so salty.
I'm such a flake, dude.
Nah, dude. I know you've been busy as hell. Is it just work stuff, right?
Yeah.
Damn. It just would have been fun to have you.
I really wanted to go.
Yeah.
I've never been skiing or snowboarding.
Oh, it would have been cool. We were getting all the peeps
I've
together.
never been in the snow, like in the mountains, fresh snow.
And you always have all this like warm, comfy gear. It's like you're probably super equipped for it. Like,
except
you got the pickle socks.
I got the pickle socks.
You're ready to rock, dude.
My pickles are protected.
Man, I'm bummed you're not going, dude. Would have been fun.
I guess I don't have good snow pants, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I have some pants that are fairly warm and water resistant, and then I have some like leggings, like underwear, extra layer for insulation that I could wear underneath them.
Right.
Yeah,
I just got I had to buy all that shit this week because I didn't have anything. So
why didn't you pick up one of those snow bib things at the store?
I had already ordered one.
Okay.
By then. Yeah. Okay. So just missed it, but the jacket arrived today, and it was like a nice jacket, but it was way too thin. It was like it's for like light cold weather. It's gonna be freezing in Tahoe.
Is it?
So I bought a different one online. It's coming tomorrow, but
is it pretty loose fit, or is it?
It's fairly loose fit. Yeah.
Hey, you can always layer under it, man.
I could do that, but I bought one. It's actually kind of nice because it's like, since I don't have anything, even it's like I still am gonna use it at some point. Like for going out on a cold night or something like that, I could totally use it.
It's not gonna be useless.
Exactly. So,
like you're actually at a reset point where you can buy clothes and it's not exactly what you wanted, but you're still gonna get use out of it anyway, and you're not looking at it and being like, okay, well I already have 4 other things that can do the exact thing. Yeah, right. So
I could just ask a random stranger on the street, like, name something and I'll buy it, and I'd probably need it. Name anything you want. It's like, yeah, I probably need a couple of those. Yeah. So I ordered a different one that has like it's insulated, but it's like a 3-in-1. So it's got the puffer underneath that zips into the coat part.
They're detachable. They're detachable. I've always wanted one of those.
It's pretty sick. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Although they only had one color left that would arrive in time, so I got a color I didn't like, but it's all good.
Come on, tell me.
It's just like a 3-color. I look like a lifesaver pack.
Oh, it's like a stack of three colors.
Yeah, exactly. So I kind of look like a Mentos.
Is it the sick of the colors of any particular flag?
No, it's fairly. That'd be hilarious. It's like a Mexican flag or something. No, it's not. It's fairly monochromatic, which is good.
All right.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. I'm glad I didn't get stuck with like the pink and orange one.
Now are you gonna be doing skiing or snowboarding?
Snowboarding. I snowboard. Mel skis. We've actually never been boarding or skiing together, so this will be a first for us.
Nice. Oh, that's right. You was it your ankle? It was your knee that you exploded on a snowboard.
Yeah. That was in high school. Talking about pranks, the universe played a prank on me that time.
You were like literally standing there.
I was in a lesson. It was my first snowboarding lesson. Yeah. And I was like, I'm gonna learn how to snowboard, and the instructor was like, step 1, kneel down and strap in your binding. And like I just kneeled down and tore my meniscus. It was the weakest injury ever, dude. It was the weakest injury. And before you know it, I was like rocking back and forth. I was in so much pain. My mom was in the lesson with me. Mm-hmm. She was like, knock it off, just get up. And I was like, I'm hurting so bad. And then once she realized I wasn't,
being
pulling her leg, yeah, she got me like an ambulance, like a stretcher thing. Mm-hmm. They carted me away, and I came back to school on crutches. Told everyone I did a backflip. It's like, yeah.
Might as well get something.
I landed it, it was like a half land, but there was a casualty.
Dude, I just saw Tony Hawk.
You saw Tony Hawk?
I saw a video of Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
Dudes, I want to say 59?
Dang. Wow, I feel
Or
old.
49? One of those.
Wow. Probably in his 50s.
I want to say, yeah. So,
wow.
But he just dropped in and did like a fucking 960 or something.
That's crazy.
And
at that age?
Yeah.
Jeez.
And it was just like you can see with him how strong muscle memory is.
Yeah. Right.
Like I think the point was like he hasn't been active, much recently.
Right.
And so he was just kind of getting like he was practicing a little bit for that and then just pulled it off, and it was just like buttery smooth.
Jeez, man.
Like even if he didn't feel like 100% confident going into it maybe, but he just once he was in there it just
that's insane. Flowed. I mean, I guess when you're at that level, I mean it's just like breathing,
I always wish I had learned to roller skate.
Yeah.
I feel like that would have made me a lot more likely to be more fit overall across my life.
Yeah.
And I probably would have had a more dynamic and interesting social life when I was younger. Cause like I didn't when I was junior high and high school, I didn't really have anything to bond with people over other than like nerdy shit.
Right.
Which at our high school that worked out. That was
you got lucky,
a good place for nerdy shit.
True. But a physical activity is kind of fun to do with a group.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like it's a social glue.
Yeah, right.
It gets you into a clique essentially.
There's really not a lot of rollerblading. Even when we were in high school, I never really saw or knew anyone that bladed.
I did.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I like rollerblading.
I never got into it. I never got the hang of it, really. I'm sure I'd enjoy it more if I actually was good at it. But I always sucked. It always hurt. I think I always just had ones that never fit. So I'd be like 5 minutes in and my feet would feel like they were on fire.
Oh yeah, they will hurt your feet for sure. But
yeah, it was painful.
I got rollerblades when I was, I want to say 10, maybe younger.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed them. I had a lot of fun, and I never actually hurt myself real bad on them. Actually the worst injury I've had. I only broken a couple bones in my fingers and I want to say my right foot.
This was from rollerblading?
No, I'm from a bicycle. I broke one of my probably metatarsals or something.
That sounds painful.
I had just gotten a brand new bike.
Yeah.
And I was riding it home because the store was like 4 blocks away. Mm-hmm. And at some point, I don't remember the actual happening of it, but apparently at some point I just kind of like I was riding and sort of came to a stop and then just literally fell over sideways. And somehow managed to break some of the bones in one of my foot.
Oh my god. You probably had a growth spurt that summer and just weren't used to how big you were.
Probably. And
all in balance.
I had to get a cast and I was really pissed because they wouldn't give me crutches. I wanted crutches.
You really wanted crutches.
The doctor was like, nah, he's not coordinated enough for crutches. Which
it's like, how did you break your bone again? Yeah, you're not getting crutches.
I mean,
you're gonna break your other foot.
I think that he was, from a clinical standpoint, I think he was correct. But anyway, I healed up pretty fast, and they wanted to give me this big, thick, chunky sandal thing to wear on my cast.
Yeah.
Like wear a shoe on one foot and
Right.
this sandal thing on the other.
Yeah.
I was like, nah, screw that. I hated it. So I think it was summer. So I just after probably no more than a week, I was just walking around on my cast.
Oh my god.
And
Isn't that terrible? Isn't that not good?
well, probably, but I did it anyway. It wasn't like I had any like open wounds or anything.
Yeah.
It was just immobilizing everything.
Didn't hurt?
No, like after like about I'm guessing about a week, it was a little uncomfortable, but it didn't hurt too much. So I was just walking around on my cast and like walking around outside barefoot, and I wore through the bottom of the cast on like my heel and like the ball of my foot. So I'm guessing we'll probably 2 weeks or whatever. Went back to the doctor for a checkup, and he saw that, I had worn through the bottom of my cast.
Yeah.
And
I've been wearing the sandal, I see.
Like, yeah, so I guess if he's just been walking on it, he probably doesn't need the cast anymore. Just cut off the cast.
You could have taken this off weeks ago.
Yeah, so that's the only time I ever had a cast, which I'm grateful for because it was unpleasant. I'd wear some.
It's terrible.
Those the foam with the little aluminum clamshell around it. On my fingers for a while.
Yeah. Had one of those.
That was when I was supposed to learn cursive, so I had these 3 fingers when I was supposed to, or no, these 2 fingers when I was supposed to be learning cursive because all 3 of these were busted.
Oh my god! How'd you break your fingers?
I was
3 of them.
Yeah, I was playing football on asphalt, and I was not good at it.
Yeah,
but I was running, and I was trying to look back for the ball, hoping that maybe if it was coming my way, I could catch it.
Yeah.
And I think I ran into somebody, or somebody crashed into me, and I fell and somehow got my fingers underneath me like this.
Oh no!
And I fell.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Your entire body weight on those 3 fingers.
Pretty much, yeah. And they were very, very hurty. And
oh no!
I'm like not much of a drama queen when it comes to pain. I have a reasonable pain tolerance, but I was like, my hand is fucked up. Something is wrong with my hand. Like I'm used to getting hurt, and you get an initial boom of pain, and then it fades to an ache or whatever.
Sure.
My fingers were just like, no, pain.
Right.
Like pain.
Right.
And finally I was able to convince one of the rather cynical, or cynical's not the word.
Yeah.
Tough to convince teachers.
Okay.
And they called my parents, and I went and got my fingers taken care of.
Oh my god, dude.
And
fingers are rough. It's just like so concentrated. The worst I ever hurt my finger, any of my fingers, was I was at a restaurant on like a bar stool, and I was like too far away from the table, so I like grabbed underneath the seat and like to scoot myself forward, but the seat was loose from the metal legs, and so it kind of like separated for a second, and one of my fingers, I think it was my index finger, went right in between the top of the seat and the bottom of the leg frame.
Oh.
And my whole body weight just
sat on
smashed, just finger sandwich. And I thought we have to go to the hospital, like at the ER, because I thought my finger was gonna fall. It was so painful. I just stuck it in a cup of water, like ice water, for like an hour, and it still was just throbbing like great. It was, I almost cried. It was so painful. It was so bad.
I may have broken one of my pinkies from stubbing it on a bollard.
A bollard? What's that?
Bollards are those round cylinder, the cylinders of metal that are filled with concrete that are in front of like buildings. So
Yeah.
if a car is out of control, it crashes into
Gotcha.
those instead of the building.
Oh, it's a bollard. Oh,
Yeah, that's what those are called.
Nice.
Yeah.
But not nice in this story.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention, and I just clipped it with my right foot, and it felt like my pinky toe had just sort of like crumbled.
Whoa! And you were wearing shoes?
I was wearing shoes, but
wow.
I got after it, dude. Like I had a purposeful stride.
Wow.
I was moving, and I just winged it on that thing, and I did nothing about it. I literally did nothing. I was just like,
let it heal.
It'll either heal or it will fall off, or it'll heal wrong, whatever.
Yeah. It never became a bigger problem.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Breaking bones. I don't recommend it. You broken any bones?
I've gotten a hairline fracture on one of my ribs before. That's about the closest I've come.
Okay. Yeah, I think I had one of those. It was not fun.
No, sir, dude. But that does what I was saying reminded me of we should talk about this. How like you guys were all making fun of me at lunch at the barbecue place for putting my fingers in a cup of water to clean them.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I think I wasn't getting after you as hard as everyone else.
Okay. Is it like in my mind it seems like a perfectly reasonable thing to do at the end of your meal when you're like kind of done drinking from your cup. So basically what I'm talking about here for the listeners is that if I go to a restaurant and I get my hands dirty, like I'm eating ribs like we were, my hands are dirty, I'll wipe them off with napkins or whatever, and if there's no wet wipes around, then I will dip my fingers into my water glass and then rinse them that way with like a napkin.
Okay.
And sometimes I will even drink from that glass after I've dipped my fingers in it.
I think
is that completely garbage and nasty, or is that a reasonable thing to do?
I think you're going to get mixed responses on that.
I think it's going to be very mixed. Yeah.
I would simply ask, why not take a little bit of your water?
Yeah.
Pour it on your napkin.
Mm.
Just dribble.
Yeah.
You're not soaking it.
Right.
And then use that to kind of provide the same effect. Because all you're doing is you're getting moisture on your fingers to enhance the napkin's wiping effectiveness.
Sure. I guess it does feel a bit more effective, like cleaning wise, dipping your whole finger, like submerging your fingers in water, as opposed to wiping them wet.
Okay.
There's a slight difference.
Hey, it's your cup of water, man.
It's like do you take a shower or do you take a damp cloth to your body? Bit of a difference.
Well, you never had a sponge bath?
What? Sponge?
You never had a sponge bath?
Oh, a sponge bath. No.
Well, that's basically what that is.
Do you just take an actual... What is a sponge bath? Just a sponge? Instead of just bathe with a sponge?
Well, I guess it depends.
Is it like a literal sponge?
Sometimes.
Huh. But... I could see the responses being mixed.
I think there's basically what it comes down to me is it's at a certain level of nice restaurant.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sure.
Like
sure.
It's gauche.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you just been eating barbecue,
it's somewhat classy.
Then and everybody's wrapping up, like you're about to leave, and you're just like dip extra good wipe,
right,
and you walk, then I think that's totally fine.
Well, and see the thing is like if you're getting your hands that dirty to even warrant that, chances are you're not at like a fine dining restaurant.
Probably
you're
not.
At like a boiling crab.
Probably not.
Or you're eating ribs.
It seems like some people consider boiling crab to be like a pretty high level establishment. I don't know. I don't even get that impression.
I mean, you can definitely shell out some cash on some crab, but I wouldn't say that makes it fancy or nice.
It's just I've only been there once.
Pretty cash.
I was like
Are you not a big crab fan?
No, I guess not.
Okay.
Unless
you gotta be into crab to like boiling crab.
I don't like having to work to get after the crab meat. I like crab cakes.
Yeah.
I'll take my crab in crab cake form.
Okay.
Or maybe sushi rolls or whatever, especially if it's real crab meat.
Yeah.
I'm just not. I'm not into the whole breaking it open and that whole mess.
If you go to some nicer restaurants, they will like pre-crack them open, so that you just kind of like, just sort of gently tug it out.
You like
gently tug it out.
Mm-hmm.
Pull it open.
I could go for that.
And that's always nice, dude. Just like some hot crab and like king crab and dip it in some hot butter.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe with a little bit of lemon. It's the best. It's the best. I like crab more than I like lobster, actually.
I would agree. I've never really found lobster to be that mind blowing, except for langoustine. Was it langoustine or langostino or langoustine lobster?
Right.
They're like these little mini lobsters.
Yeah, right.
And I was taking this culinary class one time, and for some reason after the class, they had this bowl, like full. It must have been like a pound and a half or something of just like langoustine and butter.
Oh.
And like everyone was leaving, and I was looking at it like,
that's just sitting there.
and I was like, is that just kind of free for all? And the professor was like, yeah, go for it. I was like, it's on.
That's crazy. People just passing that up.
Yeah, that was delicious. I learned about food safety and everything, and then proceeded to do nothing with that. But it was a fun class.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, sometimes it is cool to just like taking a class, just like a random class, just like even if you're not going to pursue it or anything, just be like, oh, that was interesting. Like it's a cool experience. I remember one time I took a singing class, like a singing lesson. Just because like I was playing more guitar at the time, and I was like singing more songs. I was like, my guitar's all right, but I haven't really been like, I don't even know how to begin practicing vocals. So I took a singing lesson from just like some random chick in like North Hollywood, of course. It was probably like also did yoga on the side.
Was it a class or was it lessons?
It was a lesson.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a one-on-one lesson.
Okay.
I just booked it for an hour or whatever, and it was cool. Like it definitely helped me just with some of the very basics as a first lesson usually does. But she was kind of like, I think she was kind of like trying to figure me out. Like this guy's strange. Maybe it was just in my head, but I felt like she was kind of like, I've been on Broadway. Mm-hmm. Kind of like I've been on Broadway before vibes. Like I've been an extra in Wicked. A little bit. Got some of that vibe.
Did you feel like she was like sizing you up and going, this guy just doesn't have talent?
Yeah, just kind of like didn't really seem like she had a passion for teaching.
Okay.
It was just kind of like she was just doing this as a job. Just she needs to pay her rent. Just like, let's do the lesson. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, oh, this is like a, just a caring teacher.
Yeah.
This is just like some LA chick just trying to get paid. It's a side hustle, which is cool. But
would you believe me if I told you that I have performed at Carnegie Hall?
I think you mentioned this. You were in like a choir, right?
Yeah.
Is that where you did it? Is that during that time?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool.
It was cool. It wasn't like I was. It wasn't like any special showcase of particular skill. It was just a bunch of, colleges from around the country all, performing together as a group event. So I was
still pretty cool.
One of a few hundred people on stage or whatever.
That's awesome. Where is Carnegie Hall?
It's in New York.
It's in New York. That's right. Damn. Did you what event was it for? Was it like a holiday or something?
I forget. It was, but it was.
Damn.
It was John Rutter's Requiem. which I think I've mentioned before.
Oh.
It's a really cool piece of music, and it is an absolute like Iron Man of a song because I think it's about 50 minutes long.
Yeah.
And
Holy, really?
I want to say like 40 or 50 minutes long.
Damn.
That's
ridiculous. And you guys sang the whole thing?
Mostly. I mean, there's some parts where you rest a little bit just because there's soloists on
Yeah.
cello or harp or like solo like vocalists.
Singing 50 minutes straight sounds like torture.
It's a challenge, dude. But it's such a good piece of music, and I had so much fun singing it. And it's funny because I sang it in high school and in college.
Yeah.
And so I still have my sheet music for that. It's like a one of those things that you keep that's kind of got some sentimental value.
Yeah.
Were
you were in choir in high school too?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I think it was. I want to say it was for 2 years, like junior senior year.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. But yeah, I'm as fortune would have it. I performed that song, in both high school and choir. And college. I thought that was kind of a funny coincidence, but
yeah,
I always had a lot of fun with it. I enjoyed it, even if it was challenging. And right. I thought I was hot shit. Like I was in the advanced level choir or whatever in college.
Right.
And my professor was like, "Yo, you gotta like study. You gotta go, meet up with your section and practice."
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Oh, I thought I was perfect."
You feel like you go?
No, I wasn't. Like I was. It's a challenging piece, and I was consistently not getting certain things right, and she, was a pro. She noticed that, and she was like,
right.
Put in some extra time, and it was sort of a different kind of learning experience for me, just because I had always taken, I for whatever reason, I always took singing for granted as like, I can do it really well, and I learned the song, and then I know the song.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, well, no, I can be better.
Right.
And especially with that piece of music, there were parts that I was consistently not hitting the mark on.
Yeah, right.
And
you needed someone to point that out.
Yeah, and so it was literally educational, just in the literal sense. And,
right.
In a perspective shift of like going, oh, I thought I was good, but I could get better, and I could see what happened when I put in the work.
Right.
I actually got better. Oh, this is cool.
That's why music's crazy like that, because or singing rather, because you could. It's almost like. It shows that how you can think sometimes, that you're self-aware. Like I kind of know where I'm at, where I rank here, or not just with singing, but just in general, through life.
Yeah. And
then someone will point something out, and you're like, oh shit, I'm not that self-aware. It's like singing is the same thing. You're like, I sang that fine. Like you're at karaoke, and then you're maybe a drink or two, and then someone shows you the video the next day. You're like, oh my god, delete that now. That's the worst thing I've ever heard.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
No, I mean, singing is fun. I miss it.
Yeah.
I always sang as part of a choral group. I had a couple of times when I did solos, but it was more like just for a special concert where everybody gets to pick a song and do a solo.
Yeah. Did you pick a popular song for your solo, or?
I picked a song from Phantom of the Opera, and I really did not do well because, like, I thought I could have sheet music. Like I never did a solo before. I was so used to being part of a choir and having music.
Right.
And then I get up on stage and I have my music.
Right.
And then the choir director's like,
"What are you doing?
You're supposed to know this."
Really?
Like, because I hadn't really practiced that much. Like, I was gonna sing it.
Sure.
I didn't have the words memorized.
Ah, right.
Like I could sing it. I just didn't have the words.
Yeah, lyrics. Yeah.
Memorized.
Right. It's kind of an issue.
Yeah. So that was.
Were you performing in front of people for this?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Damn. That's weird that you can have notes if you're in a group, but if you're solo you can't have notes, like your sheet music. Seems a little unfair.
I guess. I mean, I think the whole point of doing a solo is to demonstrate your prowess and your skill.
Yeah, you're a pro.
And I kind of took it for granted that I had the skill to sing it.
Right.
And that
there was more to
that memorizing the lyrics
wasn't a factor. Wasn't part of the performance.
I don't know. I was kind of just.
So the director was like in front of the whole live audience. The director was just like, "You can't have that. Like, put that away."
Pretty much.
That's so funny. No cheating, cheater. Those people in the crowd.
Yeah. So, I went into it with confidence, and I did not leave with confidence. But
it's a humbling experience.
I sang another. I was a duet with my friend, and I can't even remember his name. Oh, that's horrible.
Dude, isn't it the worst? Like, forgetting any line on stage is probably the worst feeling.
Yeah, I would imagine. I mean, I never did. I've never done theater. I've never done.
Okay, yeah.
I've done a couple plays in school or whatever.
Yeah,
but
whether it's a play or just like a speech or anything, public speaking. If you have to memorize something in front of a crowd, like it's just great. Like I remember, I think I did it was either a talent show or it was like for like Mr. Troy, like some dumb contest at school.
Yeah.
And it was high school, and I did a rap with Aaron. I think we both like wrote lyrics and just went back and forth. And I think I got maybe like 3/4 the way through the number, and then I just completely blanked on lyrics. And I just started just kind of freestyling, but just saying random shit, random words. Just random shit, random words to the beat, and just like trying to keep the energy going, because it was going really well up until that point. And then I thought I nailed it, but looking back, I probably did terrible. It was probably so bad.
Well, at least you didn't feel crushing embarrassment at the time.
You know what? It was because there was like a beat. There was like music in the background, so like I just let the music. And it was a sick beat, so I just let the beat carry us. Let it carry us home. It was great.
Nice.
Got to slide under that one.
Oh, man, I remember some jazz band that was like a big, like a prestigious jazz band.
Yeah.
Came to perform live at school, and I went, and I was just like, yeah, I don't like jazz. I really like, because I like music, and I like to explore music, and and I never had gone, and well, I guess there's jazz that's like, style wise it's jazz, but it's there's not really any surprises, right? And then there's jazz where they're just sort of jamming out.
Yeah,
like it's unscripted and
it's like freestyling.
Yeah, freestyling.
Sure.
And for whatever reason, I could not bring myself to appreciate that. And
Yeah.
I think probably if I was more musically trained, and especially like if I knew an instrument or something,
Yeah.
I would be better able to appreciate it.
Right.
I suspect, but I just freestyle jazz doesn't sound like something that I want to listen to.
Yeah, it always kind of sounds like it makes me anxious. It sounds very anxious because it just sounds like a bunch of people just like scribbling. If music could scribble, it just sounds like scribbling. I don't know what. It's like
yeah, and
it's just like it sounds like a bunch of randomness trying to be cohesive, and sometimes it gets there, kind of, but most of the time it just sounds like,
yeah,
I'll throw this in, you throw that in.
Yeah,
It's like that was just a bunch of spoons at the wall. Like
I don't know.
It doesn't sound pleasant.
I'm gonna say this, and it's gonna sound bad. I don't want to denigrate or insult musicians, but it's like a musical circle jerk.
Yeah, it is.
Now, and so that's the reason why I say I would probably be able to appreciate it better if I had some more musical training or skill with an instrument, because I understand it to be sort of a freeform expression of people playing their instruments and kind of jamming out and kind of feeling the music as a group, and each contributing their own unique style or whatever, and for them it works. It's like it's a self-completing thing. Yeah. But looking from the outside in, it just it doesn't work for me.
Yeah. It's like they're playing musical hacky sack. You know?
I think that's a much kinder
that'd be the
way to word it.
The more PC way to say it, I guess. It's just like everyone just doing like little solos, like I'll do a solo real quick, but I'll pass it to you. You do a solo.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like a bunch of individual snippets. It's not really a full song. I wouldn't call it a song. Jazz isn't music. You heard it here first.
That's right. We're both jazz haters.
No, public enemy number one to the jazz community. This podcast. Let's make some enemies.
Man. High school. What a time.
It always goes back. It's so fun talking about it. Now that we're old.
Yeah.
It's fun just going back to that time.
It was a nice time in a lot of ways. It was not a nice time in a lot of ways, but it was a simpler time.
Just didn't realize how simple and easy things were. In some ways,
the weight of adulthood was not yet on our shoulders.
Yeah, right.
And we were just floating in a sea of hormones and relative freedom.
Yeah.
And it was
I never really thought, like, there was a moment, there was like a period where I was just like, I'm never gonna grow up, like I'm never gonna get old. Like I remember, like in ROTC, we would have, the seniors, they would graduate, and then sometimes they would, the popular ones would come back and like visit and say hi or whatever, and like they would like come back with like tales. Yeah. It's like, oh, dude, just so fucking just getting smashed like every fucking night. Dude, it's crazy. It's like we're in a dorm. It's like me and like 5 guys. And I just like remember like thinking like, what, these guys are like, they're like living by themselves, like without their parents. And I just couldn't even. It was like I couldn't even fathom what life like that was. Like that I never thought, like I couldn't imagine myself getting to that point. I was like, something will happen. Like I'm gonna get held back for eternity, or like I'm never gonna move out. I'm never gonna like just live that life. And then it happens, and you're like, oh shit, this is crazy. Yeah, quite the evolution.
Dude, it was so long ago now.
I know. I keep thinking, sometimes I'll get college and high school confused. But like, yeah, I graduated high school 2010, class of 2010. I'm like, wait, no, that's college. I was college 2010. Like 2006. Oh my god. That's gonna
Yeah.
be 20 years. We're gonna have our 20-year high school reunion coming up pretty soon.
2006.
That's insane.
Have you ever found any videos of just like, people taking videos at high school around that time, and you're like, oh my god, that is what it was like.
Oh yeah. Right.
Like I had forgotten.
It's 2003 and people are waiting
Right.
in line at a GameStop for the new PlayStation to come out.
Mhm.
Shit like that.
Yeah.
No one's on their phone. There's no phones. It's just
Or no, like videos from high schools back in those days.
Oh yeah. Right.
That kind of thing.
Yes.
I thought it was very interesting.
Yeah.
And
So cool.
I mean, like I feel bad for kids who are in high school right now because they had to go through 2020
I know.
and whatever, right, seventh or eighth grade or whatever.
Right. That had been rough.
Um,
Had been real weird.
wow, no. If you were in seventh or eighth grade during 2020, then you're already graduated from high school.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That went by so fast. Almost half a decade. Well, I guess.
Half a decade.
Oh my god, it's 2025 now,
It's
isn't it?
2025, and we only just hit February.
That's nuts, dude.
Like the last month felt like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It felt like a long time.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. It's been probably the longest month of my life.
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Just forget the year. Can I survive this month? Just
Well,
for so many reasons.
You did it, man. You did it. You're
So many reasons.
You're out of January and into February.
Yeah, dude. I know.
How's February been treating you so far?
It's interesting. It's like the more things normalize, the weirder they get at the same time.
So is the new normal weird? Is that what you're feeling?
I think it's still acclimating to what it means and what my life will look like in the foreseeable future. Because this is sort of, this spot, I guess, is like, it's good enough for now. It's like big enough for me for now.
Mm-hmm.
But at some point I will, it's like at some point Mel and I are going to talk about moving in together and stuff. We've already talked about it here and there.
Yeah.
At some point that's going to happen. And at that point, like, this place will probably be a little too small. We'll need a little bit more space, especially because she works from home.
Mm-hmm.
I partially work from home a lot more now. And then with 2 cats, like, we're just going to need probably like a second bedroom or something. So I think once that happens, I'll be, I'll be looking around for a different spot. But right now, this is chill, man. This is chill for just me.
It's kind of like you downsized to a little bit of a bachelor pad.
Yeah, definitely. Which, makes sense. Which fits me perfectly right now. And in the meantime, my house will eventually be rebuilt. It just is going to take 2-3 years. So
you think realistically that, because I was thinking like, I guess we'll see, man. We'll see.
you were thinking shorter?
No, I was thinking longer.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. They are saying potentially over 3 years. There's no way it's going to get done before 2.
No.
In 3,
Yeah.
possible, but it could easily be
Unless you
4 years from
unless you went with something like one of those engineered houses that's like
Oh
a
yeah,
geodesic dome kind of thing.
right.
Like something prefabricated.
Sure,
Yeah,
that'd be interesting.
it would. I've actually spent a decent amount of time trying to like think about if I wanted to build, like, if I could build a house, like how would I build a house, like,
Yeah,
because I'm like, if I could, I would want to build something that was quite different from the standard.
Yeah.
Like incorporating, shipping containers or
I see.
um
Just with the architecture.
which is funny because my dad actually originally was an architecture major
Oh wow,
when he was in college.
nice.
But I think he saw or was informed.
Oh no, battery.
We lost picture.
We're back.
So anyway, yeah, I think my dad got the idea that maybe architecture wasn't going to be the best for having a good money making career,
Right.
or something. I think that's what it was, but it might have been that he didn't like it as much as he thought. Anyway, he went into business.
Yeah.
But I've more and more I've started to realize there, traits that I've inherited,
Mm-hmm.
and I think the inclination to want to design architecture might be one of those.
That'd be fun.
My dream house is actually literally just building into the side of a mountain,
Ooh, kind of like a literal man cave.
like Minecraft.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
you just literally tunnel into a mountainside.
Yeah. Right.
Like ideally, a fairly sheer cliff face.
Uh-huh.
Can you imagine?
That's
like,
crazy.
You've played Minecraft, right?
Yeah. Right.
So just imagine, like, okay, you have the ground floor, and then you can just keep expanding.
Yeah.
Like
Inside.
you can go vertical,
Right.
up and down. You can go in, like
That would be
you
crazy.
can go up, like, dig 5 stories up, and then
Yeah.
have a balcony on the edge of the cliff or something.
That would be cool.
And meanwhile, it's very defensible. It's
Right.
it's you can for some reason I have this obsession with having a house that's just like an impregnable fortress.
Right. Right. You want it to be a fort. Yeah.
I don't know. It's very appealing to me for whatever reason.
Damn, you would love. You ever play those crafting games where like you can build forts, like Sons of the Forest and stuff?
No.
That's like there's like creepy crawler things, in the woods that try to kill you and stuff. But you can build a fort. It's a crafting game. You can just go around and basically just build out the most gnarly fortress with like some buds, and then watch as like enemies get impaled on like the spikes you put out. It's super satisfying.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun. But yeah.
I can see that. I can see that having an attraction.
Yeah, mountain would be a good little stronghold.
Totally, man. Especially because you can dig off like a little escape tunnel.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
You wouldn't be scared of like rocks falling in there, like just there was an earthquake or something like that?
Well, that's like you would. I would ideally be somewhere where it's not seismically active, but also the type of stone that you're dealing with is critical.
That's a big factor, yeah.
I wouldn't want to be building my house into like sandstone.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be after like some granite.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Damn.
Which is, I don't know if you can even buy land that is like, here's a parcel of land that includes some flat land and also part of this mountainside or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know how they actually. I guess the city, or whatever city or county you're in would be responsible for dividing up the land, right? Just
I don't know.
Deciding like what land, where the borders are for a plot of land.
It seems like a lot of places that might be eligible like for that are like national parks or whatever.
Yeah.
But right. I'm sure like, if you really wanted to, you could find something.
Sure.
The other one that I liked was these Titan missile silos,
Mm-hmm.
dude.
Ooh, just living in one of those.
They they are pretty badass. Like you can have a normal house on top of one of them,
Yeah.
and then you have like a super bunker underneath it.
Right.
And when they retired those and like decommissioned them,
Right.
they would sell them off for like super cheap. This was in, I don't know, probably the 70s or 80s.
Yeah.
But they would sell the land for like $50,000 or something.
Wow.
And you have like and this
Massive.
incredible bunker underneath you.
Damn.
I toured one once.
I don't know why that just for some reason makes me feel uneasy. Like having that much like empty, like negative space underneath me.
Mm-hmm.
It almost like is like the thalassophobia type thing.
Well, the actual missile silo is filled in
Oh, okay.
because I guess
Filled in with what? Just stuff.
Yeah, just I
It's not just an empty
they
room.
just dump a bunch of dirt and gravel or whatever in there.
Oh, I see.
But then the rest of it is the umbilical that connects the control room to the silo.
Mm-hmm.
That I think they left intact, and then the command bunker, and the super hardened defensible there's stairways and blast doors to get down to it, and there's probably some kind of vertical thing, I don't know.
Yeah.
But all that is still there. So basically,
Okay.
you have like an uber basement.
Yeah.
And there's a fair few of those that have been bought. Like that's actually a very trendy thing. It's been a trendy thing.
Mm-hmm.
The hyper rich have been buying like bunkers and private islands and
Right.
all like building bunkers and
Yeah.
all that. So
Bet they've got some deals worked out with Elon. Let me get on that rocket.
dude,
The
like,
shit stuff. The second shit gets nuclear, they're all hopping on a rocket going to Mars.
it's pretty kinda, like, depending on how you look at it, it's very telling or it's very disturbing how many of the hyper rich have total like
Bug out plans.
bug out palaces.
Yeah, right.
Like they have and to the point where they think it through and they're like, what's going to be a problem is if I have security staff, how am I going to ensure their loyalty?
Mm.
Like,
Yeah.
am I going to have to, because like if the world ends,
Can't pay them off really.
money is not really worth anything.
Exactly.
Like and any one of them could be highly motivated to just be like, well,
Fuck you.
You're a piece of shit. I'm just gonna kill
Take
you
your
and
shit.
take your shit.
Exactly.
So these super rich people tend to be, more likely than the general population to be sociopaths or even psychopaths.
Right.
So they're like, will I have to fit them with bomb collars? Like, what will I have to do to ensure their loyalty?
True. Because I mean, you are the biggest target. Like you're on top of the world when the world's intact, but the second it all falls to shit, you're bottom of the food chain. Because you're the biggest. You have the most.
You
stuff.
have resources.
You got
Yeah.
That's crazy. And then also, if you're like hyper rich, then you see things and you know things about the world that the average person doesn't.
Right.
You need to see behind that veil.
So I think
if they're snatching up shit, they know that shit could easily just go down.
Right, that's the reason why I was saying, like, depending on how you look at it, it's pretty disturbing that it's very, very trendy.
Yeah.
And not in the trendy like, oh, this is fashionable because it's cool when you do it. It's trendy because you get to the point where you're like, I literally have more money than I know like what to do with.
Mm-hmm.
And then you start to realize, oh, money, like at this point money is pointless. It's time.
Yeah.
Time is the most important resource that I have.
Right.
And then you go, well, I want to make sure that I can have all the time that I can have.
Right.
And the world could just, the shit could hit the fan.
Yeah.
And my time could be cut short, and I'm not gonna let that happen. So I need a bunker.
Exactly.
I need a super escape island or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's like the inevitable conclusion. Once you're rich enough, you're like,
right.
Yes, everything could go tits up, and I have enough money to ensure that I can have a fallback plan to survive that.
That is billionaire endgame.
Mm-hmm.
That's billionaire endgame. Is that you buy a bunker.
Yeah.
That you and your family can live in for like the next 80 years.
Yes. So.
Damn.
And that's why one day I hope to own some land. Like that's. Genuinely, I hope to own a piece of land at some point, because then I can at least build something.
If I don't rebuild my house, I'll just sell you the land. You can just build a bunker right there. Make sure it's fireproof.
I mean, dude, it's gonna be fireproof. It's gonna be made of the finest of I don't know.
It's going to be super retardant.
Yeah.
Super fire retardant. I mean, I'm personally not planning right now. Could change my tune later, but I'm not planning to move back there.
Yeah.
I'm just planning to rebuild it and then sell it when the time's right and just move on from that place.
Yeah.
There's nothing really there for me now. I mean, there's really nothing there literally at all right now anymore.
There's nothing that you're like, it calls you back.
Right. I mean, and
I get it.
And like I was talking about this with Josh like earlier today. It's that city's gone. Like Altadena is still.
It's pretty much deleted.
But when it rebuilds, it's going to be a completely different city.
Yeah, you're right.
It's going to be a different group of people. I feel like it was such an old, like small town, like old community. Mm-hmm. A lot of the people who lived there, like their houses were paid off. Or their homes had been in the family for generations.
Right.
Now, like most of the people who live there probably won't be able to afford the new houses coming in, or they're going to be just displaced. They don't have insurance. It's going to be like a different crowd. They're going to build a Whole Foods there probably.
Oh, there's going to be Whole Foods there for sure.
For sure. Which is it's going to be a different city.
So it's actually like
it's not going to be quiet anymore.
Yeah.
It's not going to be as quiet as it was for sure.
And all the probably a great majority of those nice old trees are going to be gone, because that's one of the things that like kind of gives a neighborhood and a city its character is
the trees, the greenery,
the 57-year-old trees.
Exactly. Yeah.
That it makes a difference, man.
It for sure does. Yeah, it adds a lot of character.
It does.
It adds a lot of character, and even like every house on my street like looked different than the next.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're all just. I guess they're all being rebuilt in the same way, but they're all going to be rebuilt using the same materials. The same modern paint. They're all going to look very similar. I think
I think that is one of the kind of downsides of living in the States is, or at least living in suburban sprawl, is architecture is shit. Like there's that's one of the things that I really enjoyed about like the Netherlands is the architecture was either like super old and super interesting and cool because it's historic, or it was new and it was inventive. It was artistic. It was like
worth looking at
twice. Yeah. It was edgy, I guess, or it pushed the envelope a little bit. Like
it was interesting. Yeah.
It was very creative.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like all over the place.
Yeah.
Like, and so when I came back, one of the first things that I noticed was how everything just looks the damn same. Like
Yeah.
every strip mall
Right.
is just
Cookie cutter.
cookie cutter.
Yep.
Like even
Definitely.
even in, like larger cities, there's not really any striking architecture. Yeah, you can have some big buildings, but
Yeah, there's
I
nothing
mean,
cool about it.
there's some interesting architecture in LA, I guess. Like the Disney concert hall is cool.
Yeah, you can find little gems like that,
Right.
but they're
But
few and far between.
when I was, walking around a city where almost every building was unique and
Yeah.
different, and sometimes in ways where you're like, okay, I appreciate that you did something different. I don't love it, but
Sure.
at least it's different.
Right, exactly.
Like that
Yeah.
that kind of, it was almost like culturally there was this striving for variety,
Right.
and
Right.
you can distinguish one building from the other because they have a different style or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That coming back to the uniformity that you see around here was kind of a bummer.
It kind of like says a lot about like a city and kind of just it's maybe priorities or just it's the ethos of a city, like the soul of a city, like what you're describing in Netherlands. It's like it has this like artistic spirit just through the buildings that you see and that you're walking through. And here it's just like okay, just I guess just capitalism. Let's just build it as cheap as we can, and sell the most bullshit within once you come inside.
Right.
Um,
if I was gonna buy, I guess if I was gonna try to buy a house, I think I would try to buy one that was built in like 2005.
like a more new, like a modern house.
Like relatively new.
Yeah.
If I was just gonna buy whatever house, like I don't, whatever the style is, I don't care.
Sure.
But part of the reason is I would expect the overall quality to be higher.
Yeah, sure.
Because so many, especially since COVID, so many houses are just rushed. They're just like super like the initial construction is just the cheapest materials, like the cheapest everything.
Yeah.
There's no one's building houses. I'm not gonna say no one, but there's kind of a sense that I've gotten that a lot of these houses, because I say this just because I've seen a lot of houses under construction recently. Around where my parents live, there's a lot of houses under construction out there.
Yeah.
And walk around looking at them, it's like these people don't have any personal investment in making a quality product. It's there's no craftsmanship. It's just slap it together.
Yeah.
Does it pass code?
Yeah.
Okay, it's good.
Yeah.
Move on.
Just shitting out houses.
Yeah.
To turn a profit.
Right.
A lot of like house flipping. House flipping's huge now. It's like a whole thing.
Yep, that too, which is again very much subject to the same pitfall of
just cutting corners.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there are people who buy houses and renovate them and flip them, and they do it with a sense of care.
Sure.
And attention to quality and trying to preserve the nature of the original house, just have it refreshed.
Yeah.
Have some of the things that are old and worn be new. But yeah, it's pretty easy to look at people who flip houses and be like, you're kind of a dirtbag.
Yeah. Yeah. You gotta there's a lot of scumminess in just real estate in general.
Yeah.
The good ones are.
Ooh, that reminds me.
What?
There was this guy in Australia, and he put
You went to Australia, or you just know like it's online?
I actually want to go to Australia.
Okay, I was gonna say. I was like, did you go?
No, it was just this news segment.
Yeah.
This guy in Australia put a print ad in the newspaper.
Uh-huh.
His house was for sale.
Yeah.
And it was like blah 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 blah. No Asians.
Did not expect that. I did not see that coming.
And so this local news channel goes out to interview him, and they're like, so what's the deal? We saw your ad and it says no Asians. Now, again, just imagine everybody here is speaking with an Australian accent.
It makes it way funnier.
And he's like, yeah, I hate them. They're they bring nothing. They take your money and they don't really actually bring you any benefit. And the reporter's like, really? Like you're willing to say that on camera? And he's like, absolutely, yeah, no, I 100%. And they're like, so what? Why don't you like Asians? And he's like, no, it's agents.
Agent. Was there a typo in the?
It was because of Australian accents. When the dudes said, because he was saying
right
agents
no
over
Asians.
and over to the interview crew,
right,
and it kept sounding like Asians. And then finally he realized they think I'm saying it was like agents.
That's so funny.
Like real estate agents, and everybody had a good laugh. It was pretty wholesome.
That's amazing. That's awesome. What a happy accident.
Right.
Oh damn.
I don't know. I guess it makes sense that we have a real estate agents, because there's a lot of specialized. I guess there's a lot of. Now maybe I just have been, maybe big real estate wants me to think that there's a lot of specialized knowledge and expertise that goes into being able to find and purchase a house, but I don't know.
I mean, it's a big thing. It's unless you have a very flexible job and just a lot of free time, it's a lot of work looking for a house. I mean, it's the biggest purchase of your life, right? It's a ton of work. There's so much. Unless you speak that language, it's nice to have someone to just sort of decipher it all for you.
Okay. Well, I've never undertaken to buy a house. I hope to one day. But yeah, I can see that.
I'll let you know when I'm selling. But we should probably wrap it up. Yeah, I think that's time.
All right.
And sorry if I keep for hitting the phone. That's gonna mess up the audio. But thank you guys for watching. I don't even know what episode this is, but
it's been an episode.
Whatever it was, add one, and that's the one we'll do next week, because that's how math works. We'll see you guys next week.
Yeah.